Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum is finally starting to roll here to the downside. It finally broke out. We had this descending trend line on the chart. It bounced back to the trend line but got rejected and came down. Yes, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll know that we expect another low here. Well, we had another low now, but we have not yet broken the previous wave 3 low, but we've come down to the same level again. So at the moment, I would primarily still expect more dips, but we have now come to a level where, again, at any moment we could reverse to the upside. We are quite oversold. You can see on the 8-hour chart, we've just entered the oversold territory here. The MACD though shows there is still an increase in negative momentum. And just because we entered the oversold area doesn't mean we have to reverse from there. On the 4-hour chart, the MACD is pushing down. We have a bearish crossover that just indicates the bearishness at the moment. But again, we are very oversold here on the RSI. So, you know, all of that, a bit conflicting messages. I mean, the RSI in the oversold range just means we are in a strong downtrend, really. But it also means there is only limited downside potential in the short term, because we are now quite, you know, sort of, at least short term, in an area where you would expect some buyers to jump in again. And I think we've seen that here at the 1220 level. We are back to 1240 now, just because, you know, when you're so much oversold, there are a lot of buyers coming in, right? On the daily though, you can see we still have a reduction in bullish momentum. So we might get that bearish crossover here. And we are also still in the bearish range on the RSI on the daily. So more long term or medium term, you would still expect to come down further in line with momentum, which is pointing down at the moment, and we haven't seen a momentum shift. Now on the daily, when we start to see an increase in bullish momentum again, that might be a possible reversal signal, all right? But at the moment we don't see that yet. So at the moment I would have to assume, also in line here with the Elliott Wave count, that we are heading further down. I think we're only now working on the third wave. The decline today confirms actually my view that this here was a third wave. In yellow, we talked about that. And we might just now be in that wave 4 retracement, to be honest. So this could very much be the case, because if I look at, no, that can't be actually. That was a very long wave 1, wasn't it? So we might really have only seen the first wave of the third. Yeah, so I think wave 3 should really come down further. It also would match and make more sense in terms of the Fibonacci extensions that we are heading down here a bit further in the wave 3. Yeah, I mean, I admit this is a very long wave 1. I'm a bit unsure if this was really the wave 1 low or if this was only a wave D of a triangle. I did explain that in more detail in the previous video, and if this was just a wave E, and now we're coming down in 1, 2, 3, then 4 and 5. That's a bit unclear. Therefore, you know, because we have a couple of possibilities here, in theory this particular count, the overall Elliott Wave count, which is here primarily a bullish count, short-term downside yes, but primarily bullish, can in theory go down all the way down to $1,000, as I said, yeah. But primarily I would expect the reversal above 1130. Now if we go down to $1,000, it is still very much possible to recover from here in the bullish breakout. However, if you go below $1,000, this will invalidate, or at least make invalidation of the bullish pattern very likely. That means for me at the moment it is, for me, I'm accumulating. Yeah, I mentioned that a few times now. I bought already at 1250. We'll buy again if we go a bit lower, in anticipation of the larger recovery which I expect afterwards. Now if we go below $1,000, I will not expect that recovery anymore. Now there's different ways of dealing with it. Yeah, you can set your stop loss below $1,000, or you put just Ethereum if you want to accumulate long term anyway. It doesn't probably matter too much if it's long term with the current prices. Yeah, you could just put it onto your hardware wallet. But that's sort of the stuff we deal with here. I have set some stop loss orders below $1,000, but I'm not getting stopped out everything. So some of these funds or ETH will also move on to, I don't want to suggest I have more than one ETH here in these buy orders, but some of these fractions of ETH, yeah, or ETH or whatever, go into the hardware wallet as well for long-term accumulation, because long-term we are in a fantastic accumulation area. If you look at where we come from, what prices are expected for the next all-time high, where I would expect around 8 to 10k, maybe even higher for Ethereum. This at the moment for me is just a long-term accumulation area. Short-term swing trading, yes, as well. But here, you know, at the moment it's buying for me because I expect a recovery. This is not yet a confirmed bottom. We can fall further. That needs to be reflected in my own position size. Yeah, I'm not going all in here or anything. These are still smaller positions. I'm only going in more aggressively when we have off that third wave, which should follow afterwards. When we have the first 1-2 setup created, which means I want to see first that rally in a wave 1, which should be an impulse, okay, a breakout, and then I'm waiting for that dip, and that is the dip I'm going in more aggressively. But I don't want to miss out on that wave 1 of wave 3, therefore I'm already buying now, knowing we don't have a confirmed bottom in place, knowing that it could drop further, and that is reflected in my position size, because with any trade, with any purchase, I do not try to risk more than 1% of my portfolio. So, you know, this needs to be reflected in my position size. That's my own approach. You know, you can have your own approach. You can go in with leverage or whatever. That's all your decision. But for me, in the current uncertain market environment, that is the most reasonable approach and best balance of risk and reward. But yeah, it's going the right direction. We are heading lower. I think primarily we still go lower, especially as long as we are below this descending trend line. Yeah, and at the moment, this strong decline today, there is no reversal signal yet. Yes, we are oversold, but at the moment the potential and the momentum is still heading further down. Primarily, I'd be looking at something between 1150 and 1200 for the completion of that 5-wave move to the downside. We'll see. Could even go lower, as I said, but should definitely hold $1,000 to enable still that breakout in the current preferred wave pattern. So yeah. So to everybody who was getting a bit frustrated in the last few days, yeah, I had a few comments that I've been talking about a new low now for a few days and weeks. Here it is, yeah. I mean, not exactly a new low, but basically a double bottom. So let's see, you know, you get these double bottoms and sometimes they act as reversal signals, but I explained it in previous videos. Oftentimes when you see a double bottom, it's not going to hold. Yeah, it oftentimes is going to break. We are just seeing that on the Solana chart, for example. Okay, and that's my update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership for access to all my TradingView live charts on TradingView, for access to the live chat groups, you know, the Discord server, my own trades basically, and the weekly live stream, and lots of other stuff as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.